What's cracking, everybody? So I wanted to do a response video to my friend Heather, and I actually had heard this before I saw her video, but obviously when I saw her mention Standish Prison in Michigan, and of course she mentioned Leavenworth, I thought I'd chime in, being as I am in Kansas, so, or where I currently live. So Fort Leavenworth is about an hour away from me. There's actually two prisons in Leavenworth. There's the federal penitentiary, and then there's the U.S. disciplinary barracks, which is the military installation surrounded by Fort Leavenworth. I think the federal pen's a few miles south of that installation. So, you know, many of us know that Obama had signed an executive order to close Guantanamo Bay within a year. Obviously, they need to do something with the detainees. And now they're talking about moving them to United States, you know, somewhere in the center of the country. Well, either Michigan or Leavenworth, Kansas. I found it funny, one of the articles, the governor of the state of Kansas, Parkinson, said that Fort Leavenworth was not equipped or to handle detainees or something like that. And I'm thinking to myself, it's absolutely equipped. It's a fucking maximum security military penitentiary. It's absolutely equipped for this kind of thing. And then, of course, the flip side of that is I'm thinking about Standish Prison, and though I don't know much about it, I know, you know, when Heather vlogged on it, she talked about it, but, you know, I imagine if it's closing, it's not a state-of-the-art or up-to-date facility, and I'm sure it's probably somewhat dilapidated. And of course, you know, well, that's the alternative. Put them there. They don't want these people to be comfortable. They don't want these people to be happy and healthy. They want them to be miserable, and they want many of them to die in prison, and that's a reality, because that's what Guantanamo Bay is. It's not the United States dirty little secret like some of these other countries have these secret prisons in different places. This is well known, but it's sold to individuals and marketed as, you know, this place that we can put our terror suspects and our terrorists and deal with them there. We all know the war on terror is predominantly a farce, and that torture and the kinds of tactics that the United States condones doesn't do anything but cause animosity and create enemies of foreign countries, from foreign countries of the to the United States. It's ridiculous. You know, it's crimes against humanity. It's many different things. So, you know, there is that whole aspect of it. But even looking at just the scenarios of what could happen or what would happen. You know, my wife and I were actually talking about that. You know, why it would be a bad idea to bring these individuals here. I mean, many people are going to be thinking in their mind, oh, you bring them here, then the terrorists are going to come here and they're going to bomb our town and blow up our city because we've got their friends and they want to get them out. Well, I can understand that mentality, and that might be true to some degree. But, you know, the kind of vindictiveness that this kind of behavior, these actions by our governments can cause, the kind of animosity and hatred it can cause, vengefulness. And, you know, I have to say it, and I don't want to offend per se my friends who are members of organized religions, but organized religion as a whole, and in the Nation of Islam, among other religions, can be predominantly violent. And of course, I'm talking about extremist factions as well. And you know, you just look at the religious texts and you can see. So it does create this extremist band of individuals that may want repercussions. Whether these individuals are guilty of these bombings of terrorism, or they, you know, don't even have enough to really legally hold them, but they do anyway. There's lots of repercussions that could come from this. So, you know, my wife even mentioned, you know, not just the actual terrorists or their friends, quote unquote, but what about the American citizens, the individuals, like in some of these articles you can glance over, that don't want these individuals here, these detainees? What about the average Joe American Midwesterner who's been, you know, fed a lot of this nationalist bullshit most of his life, and is going to, you know, when these individuals are here, he resents the fact that they're bringing them to his hometown, let alone bring him into his country. And then, you know, we could see a spark of, you know, religious fighting. We could see, you know, culture and race-related hate crimes and things like that. So there's a whole series of events that are going to spark from this move, or this potential move. So, and Heather mentioned, and it was interesting, this whole hybrid court system. I mean, you know, this is, I mean, really, this is ridiculous. For them to be, what is it, in some sort of hybrid court. So let's bring them to the prison. Let's not try them in a court. Let's not give them a fair trial and either let them go or lock them up. Let's bring them and let's go ahead and lock them up, and then give them our own little version of a trial in prison. So that way we don't have to they don't have to move them very far or transport them very far if they decide they're guilty, which more than likely they're going to decide most of these people are guilty. Whether they are completely guilty or fully guilty or guilty of a crime that would cause them to need to be incarcerated like that. But yeah, it's crazy. So interesting situation, and you know, I'm always open for anybody who wants to spark a debate on this. You know, leave me a comment, make me a video response. Feel free. So anyway, that's me. That's my piece, and take it easy.